Thank you very much, Mr. Benga Ulukosi. Right? Yeah, I want to say big congratulations today as you add a year, and also today being a very special day that you have your book launch as well. And so many things. I mean, very few people actually live to see this kind of a thing in their lifetime. I mean, it's not as if we have actually earned it. It's just His grace upon our lives. So I think I have to appreciate God for your life. And also, I'll use this medium to also appreciate Oxford for being able to be part of your life. Because if not for Oxford, I don't think we would have met. Oxford actually brought us together, and I have to acknowledge that. Now, let me officially introduce myself. I am Prince Abubakar Afeez, the Group Management Head of Oxford International Group, a company that liberates people from the shackles of insufficiency, from the shackles of poverty. Our company has been able to take people from the point of nobody to the point of being significant, and that is what we can see today. So I tell people in my training, I say, we have three levels in life. We have the survival level, which is the first S. The second S is succeeding level. The third X is significant level. The survivor is when everybody's trying to make ends meet. Succeeding is when you have something in your pocket you can afford to feed others. Being significant, very few people actually attain that level. Being significant simply means you've been able to impact people's life, people who cannot even afford to pay you back. So that is it. So I want to say a big thank you to Oxford International Group for giving you the platform. Now, today I've been given the privilege to talk about why successful people actually wait. And the truth of the matter is, I think people need to understand time from timing. It's two different things. You have your own time, you want to get things done, but there's something called God's timing. So what exactly are you going to do if it's not God's timing yet, if it's not the time for you to be known, if your time is not now? See, it's just unfortunate that in our day-to-day activity, very few people understand that. Yeah, as good as hard work is very important. There's something called grace. And grace comes when it is the right time for you to actually experience that grace. Waiting is one of the key qualities of great leaders, because leaders take time to get things done because they know when it is time, nothing can stop it. And you can only get to your time if you've been able to understand that you need to wait for your time. Mr. Gwenga is here today, and I have been following your update on Facebook. 10 days to go, 17 days to go. And one thing that really got my attention was the fact that you said how I was able to do it after so many years to become a graduate. It has to do with your time. And see, we can actually achieve a great deal if only we understand that when it is time. A friend of mine will always tell me something that, Afeez, see, when it is your time, even your enemy will work for you. When it is your time, even your greatest enemy will work because it is your time. And they have no option than to acknowledge God's presence in your life. See, great people understand that it takes time to be great. If you can't afford to wait, you can never achieve a great deal. Now, a very typical example I'm going to use which I'm going to corroborate everything I've been saying, is this. For us to understand that waiting is a process that every great leaders actually go through in their life. They have their waiting period. That time we call it, you have to stay still. Now, when a man and a woman meet, it takes how many months for the meeting to germinate? The pregnancy takes 9 months. You can't, because a man and a woman have sexual intercourse now, and you expect the baby to come now. It takes 9 good months, 9 months plus, some 10 months, some 11 months, some 12 months. You can't change it, because that process, you just have to wait. Because we call it developmental process. At that point in time, the baby is developing. But once it is time for the baby to launch, nobody can stop it. But because the mother is pregnant, she can never say, I have to give birth today. You have to wait. Now, when a mother gives birth, because you gave birth today does not mean your baby must start walking or must start eating or must start doing things you are doing today. No. It takes time. The baby takes about 7-8 months or 1 year before the baby starts walking. It takes time. And also, when the baby starts walking, it takes time for the baby to actually grow up to become an adult. But once it is time for the baby to go to school, you get to understand that there are some things that will happen naturally. Not the kids of these days. Imagine a 2-year-old son holding your phone, and you just imagine, how has this guy been able to operate my phone? Because of what they are exposed to. Because it is time. They are exposed to some information now. But you can't expect a 6-month-old son or a 6-month-old kid to be able to understand what a phone means, because it's not time yet. Likewise, success. And why great people understand that you need to wait for your own time, because when it is your time, nobody can stop it. You have to understand that waiting is a virtue of great people, because they understand the importance of waiting. But the moment it is your time, no man can stop it. Mr. Abubakar can attest to this. How long he has been waiting to get his book launched, or even to write a book. He had to wait for his time. Today, his book is live, is being launched. If you hadn't wait, there's nothing you can do about it. First, as human, we have to understand that there is time, there is stipulated time for anything we want to achieve. So when the time comes, but before the time comes, you have to wait. And as a matter of fact, you can't achieve great success without understanding the importance of waiting. You know what waiting does? Waiting helps you get prepared for the challenges ahead. Now, I tell people that life is not just the passing of time. Life is basically about gathering of experiences. Now, I am the management head for Oxford International Group. I didn't just arrive at this destination. There was a time I was waiting. I was learning from my superiors. And here I am now. Because it is my time to become the management head, I find myself here. But there was a time in my life that I was actually waiting behind. I was waiting. I was preparing myself. I was working hard on myself because of the challenges ahead. So what waiting does is basically it helps us be more equipped, be more prepared. Because one thing God has promised us in life is this. He never promised us it's going to be easy, but he said it's going to be worthwhile only if we do what we are expected to do, if we trust him. And permit me to use to corroborate this. Yeah, I'm a Muslim, but I just like quoting the scripture at times. I remember when Paul said it in the Bible. He said, "I fought a good fight. I kept the faith." Keeping the faith was actually that time it was waiting, it was hoping. It was seriously waiting for God's help. And what happens at the end of the day? He had the crown to himself. So you have to understand that achieving great success, you need to understand that there is always your own time. And for your time to come, you must understand that you need to wait. As a matter of fact, there are no shortcuts to success. Success has principle, success has secrets. You need to understand these two. Understanding these two will help you prepare yourself for what is ahead. But to be candid, to be sincere with us, waiting is only well understood by people that are destined for greatness. Waiting is only well understood by people that are destined for greatness. And I'm going to use Mr. Gbenga, for example. He had to wait for his time. Not because you don't know shortcuts, but because you've been able to understand that when the time comes, nobody can stop it. If you hadn't waited, I don't believe you would have achieved what you have achieved today. You fought a good fight. You kept the faith. Keeping the faith, you actually waited for your time. And now you are being celebrated. For everyone who actually want to achieve great success, I want to tell us today that you need to understand that you have to wait for your turn. You need to understand that you have to fight a good fight as well, and you keep the faith. Because if you don't fight a good fight and keep the faith, there's no how you're going to have the crown. And keeping the faith simply means you have to wait for your time. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Wow.